Hi there, this is Dr. Jack Belitz, and welcome to another edition of the Ask Dr. Jack Show. We're here to answer the questions that you ask. Today, our show is particularly devoted to people who are suffering from a condition called GERD or heartburn or reflux. If you are taking these drugs like Prevacid and Prilosec or other proton pump inhibitors, this particular episode applies very much to you and also to anyone that you love that might be dealing with this condition. Now, realize that this condition really sucks because you're having heartburn very often throughout the day, and it's not a very pleasant experience. So, of course, you're going to think, wow, what can I do to take care of this? And you go to the medical doctor and they're going to suggest, hey, why not try this particular drug, which will definitely eliminate the symptoms. It'll make you feel a lot better. But let's get into a little bit more about what these drugs do, how they do it, so that you can maybe make a little bit better informed decision as to whether or not this is good for you. Remember, I'm not here giving medical advice. I'm a chiropractor here in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm just giving you information that you could very easily find on the internet all by yourself, just making it available to you, and that way you can use this information to make informed decisions for you and your family. So, what you need to understand is that these drugs have recently been found by the FDA to be a huge problem in creating a condition called C. diff. Now, C. diff is caused by a very common bacteria, and it's got a real long, funky name, don't worry about it. But anyway, this bacteria is around us all the time. But what we are finding out is that if you're taking these particular drugs, it somehow is lowering your defenses because people on these drugs find that there is a very large infection from this C. diff that starts to become very common, and it is potentially life-threatening because it's a huge inflammatory condition of the bowel. So, huge side effect that most people don't want to deal with. Also, what we're finding is that these other conditions are very often associated with this problem. So they are dementia, irregular heartbeats, iron deficiency, pneumonia, fatigue, and brittle bones. So, again, they do definitely take care of some of the symptoms of your heartburn. And I get why people don't want to necessarily get off of them because, you know, it does provide so much relief. But when you look at the potential side effects, you've really got to question as to whether or not it's worth that if you can find something else. So here's the question. What can you do? Well, let's take a look at how these drugs cause some of these conditions. What you have to understand is that their main function is to shut down or greatly reduce the amount of acid that your stomach's producing. So what is the job of the stomach acid? Well, it's to break down the food. See, when you eat food, the food needs to be broken down to little pieces like carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, minerals. It has to be just really broken down. And then as this broken down mush travels through your small intestine, the proteins can find the protein receptors and get absorbed into the body. The minerals can find the mineral receptors and get absorbed in the body. The vitamins can find the vitamin receptors and get absorbed in the body. But if they come as one big clump, those individual pieces can't be absorbed, and so they just go kind of straight through you. And even though you might be eating the most incredible diet in the world, filled with beautiful vitamins and protein and all that other stuff, if your body isn't able to absorb them, it's not doing you any good. And that's where some of these health issues come in. So, what can be done that isn't drug related? Well, understand that a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times, the reason that you're having this acid reflux condition is because some of the stomach has herniated through the diaphragm and is sitting above the diaphragm, which is a muscle that allows you to breathe, draws air into your lungs, but it also provides a very tight seal around that, and it can often squeeze that part of the stomach that's up above there to the point where it can't release the acid into the rest of the stomach. So where's that acid going to go? It's going to go right up your throat, and you're going to get that problem. So the question becomes is, can we get that part of the stomach down there? And once it's down there, can we get it to keep there? Well, that's where chiropractic comes in really handy. We can absolutely do that, and by keeping those nerves open, we can oftentimes keep that stomach down where it needs to be so you don't have this problem reoccurring all the time. Anyway, that is an incredible option open to a lot of people, and I tell you, over the years I've helped hundreds of people with this condition, and they were able to get off of these very potentially dangerous drugs. So I hope this was of good information, information that you can use and maybe make really informed decisions about how you want your healthcare to be managed. If you have any questions that you would like us to research and maybe provide you some answers, please email me at askdrjackb, that's B-E-E, @gmail.com. Call the office at 402-333-4848, or just walk into the office and ask me the question yourself. I'd love to help you out. If this condition applies to either you or a loved one, please give us a call. If you mention this video, we will do the initial exam at no charge. All right? It's just something we want you to be able to feel very comfortable finding out whether or not we can be of help to you. And then if we find out we can, then you can decide whether or not what we think we need to do is something you're wanting to do. So it's a very easy process. Just please call the office, 402-333-4848, and let's see if we can give you some help. Again, this is Dr. Jack Belitz. I can't wait to see you on the next episode of the Ask Dr. Jack show. Be very healthy and have an awesome day.